what if you have not been compliant with your US tax obligations? So if you have not been compliant with your US tax obligations, the question becomes, well, like, what are your options? So generally speaking, of course, you should always seek advice, but generally speaking, the two ways of approaching your journey to become compliant. If it is your non-compliance has been non-willful, so you did not intentionally seek and you didn't create structures with a view to avoiding this known legal obligation, then there's one pathway for you. If it is that you were willful in your non-compliance, so you were intentional in seeking to avoid your US tax obligations, that's another pathway. So the pathway for those who are non-willful typically revolves around something called the Streamlined Compliance Procedure. So under the Streamlined Compliance Procedure, you go back 3 years for tax returns and 6 years for FBARs. And this is driven more or less by the statute of limitations. So 3 years, so the last 3 years for which due date has already passed. So for right now, that'll be 21, 20, and 19. And FBARs, for those who are not aware, under, I think, the Bank Secrecy Act, 1970, 1971, everyone who's US exposed, whether they be citizens, green card holders, or those who triggered substantial presence, they're legally obligated to report their foreign financial assets. So your bank accounts, mutual funds, brokerage accounts, whatever it is outside of the US, that is subject to US reporting and then potentially taxation as well. So that is a legal requirement, and the reporting of those financial accounts are on the FBARs, the Foreign Bank Account Report, otherwise known as FinCEN 114. So the look-back period under Streamline, if you've been non-willful and you're non-compliance, will be 3 years returns and 6 years FBARs. If your non-compliance has been willful, then you're looking at a version of the voluntary disclosure agreement. And that would be the good thing. I mean, the important thing is the incentive really for you to come forward under one of these two programs would be that you would potentially get to legally avoid some or all of the criminal and civil penalties. So this is a huge incentive. So you go to the IRS before the IRS has found you, and you get an opportunity to avoid some really draconian penalties, which can include jail time. So there's a serious incentive. If it is that your non-compliance has been willful, as we said, you're looking at voluntary disclosure, and you need to reach out to ourselves or whoever your preferred US tax team would be, because then you definitely need legal advice. You should not really attempt that journey of catching up with your past tax returns without getting legal advice from a qualified US tax professional. So I hope that helps.
So if you're a 6, 7, or 8-figure investor, entrepreneur, or business owner who needs a tailor-made solution from a qualified team of professionals, we can help you achieve the international lifestyle, the freedom, and even the tax savings you're looking for. Visit us at htj.tax and live that international life.